Hi guys, how's it going? February's coming up and obviously it's going to be Valentine's Day. I personally believe that we should not have just one day where we're allowed to sort of profess our love to people, but it should be every day throughout the year. In any case, because of the upcoming theme, I figured let's do something a little more fun and love related. So today I'm going to do and I haven't practiced for this at all, so if I screw up, here's me being very authentic and very real with you guys. I'm just going to do a heart filled with flowers. And so what I've done to start off is I've drawn, using a pencil, I've just drawn a heart, and now I'm just going to go in and place flowers wherever I see fit. So these are the brushes that I'm using, or at least I hope to use. As I go along, I might decide I need something else, in which case I will definitely show you what I am using. But for now, these are the kind of brushes that I'm using. It's a regular 10, 8, using the squirrel mop brush, and the 1, a 9, and a 4. So I'm going to start off with the squirrel mop brush, and I'm going to start placing my main flowers first. So because it's Valentine's, obviously the rose has to be there, like that's just a given. So I'm going to start off with a nice red or pink or whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to place my first flower somewhere around here. And I'm going to go darker. Okay. A lot darker. And then for the outer, I'm just going to go a little bit lighter, and now I'm going to go in with a hint of a different color. Like I've mixed in a little bit of yellow to get that blending feel to it. And that's what I like. You see how there's a little bit of yellow and then there's pink or red at the edge? Like you get that when you have two colors on your brush and you're just sort of brushing away simultaneously. So I'm doing that, and then using one of these brushes right here, the round ones, I'm just going to go in while this is wet, and I think this is the 9, and I'm going to go in with a green. And I don't like using those bright greens, so I like to mix a little bit of brown or yellow or blue even in my greens. So I'm just going to do that. Okay, maybe this is a little too blue, but let's fix that by putting in a little bit of mustard in there. Okay. And I'm going to go in there as well. And just along the edges. Right, something like that. Then I will go back to doing another rose. And this time I want to place my rose, let's go somewhere here. And doing the same with, like using the same technique that I did before. I'm going to go in and mix a little bit of the yellow. And put that in there. Oops. This might turn out a little bit blotchy, but I'm okay with this so far. And then I'm just gonna do this for the leaves. All right, something like that. And do that. And the reason I'm doing the leaves right away is because I want to take advantage of this wet bleeding effect that can happen, which is really pretty when it does. And so, yep, gotta do that right now. And then just like hint of little leaves around here somewhere. Okay, and that's good enough for me. And then I am going to do one more rose around here. See how this just bleeds in, and that's the kind of effect I love. I just live for it. So it just gives it so much more depth and yeah, it just makes it so much more interesting to look at. For lack of a better description, really. Now I'm gonna go in and do the flowers, the leaves. And again, just making sure that you're within the parameters of the, what's it called? The heart outline that you've done. And then you're good to go that way. And you just keep going. Okay, so you have some of that. You can kind of, seeing what you feel, where you feel fit, just go in and add a little bit more. Because you're going to have to fill this area up anyways. So I would go in and do something like that. And now, I will also do a couple of rosebuds, so something like this. And like that. Very subtle, and just kind of making it dainty, and again you're trying to fill it up as well at the same time. And then you want to go in with your green and then quickly dab in some green that way. And then over here as well, because this is the first one you did, or I did. And then the last one right here. Yeah, however you see fit, or see fit rather, you go in and do that, and those are your rosebuds. Okay, so next thing I want to do is, oops, mess that up here. Wipe it off quickly. Okay, I want to add a few more flowers around to make it a little more visually exciting, and so I'm going to do a few of these kinds of flowers. Just give me a second. For this I'm going to use the size 10 brush, and I'm mixing a little bit of orange with the yellow to get like a peachy orange color. Let's see how that transitions, because again, I have not tested these colors out, right? So hopefully they turn out well. Actually, before I do that, what I will do is I'm going to use the blue-green and just do like the center of the flower first. And that's a really pretty green, so let's see how that transitions with the orange. It's like a turquoisey green. Okay, the orange is a little too bright, so I'm going to do that. Mixed in a little bit of red. And this is what I am getting. I'm not entirely opposed to it, but perhaps I need to mix a little more red into it as with the yellow as opposed to just the orange, because it's a little too bright for me right now. And I will do that. I'll do another one of these around here. Something like that, and then do another one around here. And these are fairly easy to do, like it's literally just like doing leaves. So it's easier, if it's easier for you to achieve this by turning the page or flipping the book as you're doing this, then do it. Or you can walk around as you do it, however you feel, or put your hand this way like I'm doing. It's really up to you, what you're used to. Alright, so that's how I've done that. And let's do... I have 3, just do a hint of one over here. Like really subtle. Not subtle, sorry, I meant like only a part of it peeking out, kind of. So I have 4, and I'll do one more because I like to do things in odd as opposed to even numbers. And let's do that here. There we have that. And then I would like to go in with a little bit of blue. I hope the blue doesn't come out too... Actually, no, before we do that, let's do the leaves. Because you want to make sure that we don't lose this window of where everything is still wet. And you're still able to get that nice effect. So I'm kind of doing leaves that are like that. And then over here as well. Okay. So you want to follow the curve so it gives it more of a shape that way. Takes the shape of the heart. And it just looks nicer. Okay, and so you keep doing your leaves till you're kind of satisfied. And I'm going to do a few there. And then I want to do some here as well. And it's good if you have like a couple of different shades of green. And the way I like to achieve that is I'll take a green and then I'll dip it in some mustard colored yellow, or I'll dip it in some blue if I want something a little bit darker. And so I get different variations of green on the go as opposed to just having the one color and then having everything kind of look flat and the same. I find visually the colors add, when you have variations of it, it just really adds a lot of depth, and yeah, it takes away from it looking flat. So that's me. That's my technique. I hope you guys also, if you haven't experimented with it, experiment with it, and you know, I hope you like it. Okay, so that's that, and the next thing I am going to do is, if I can stop doing the leaves and obsessing with them, I can move on to the next thing. Okay, so the next thing I will do is the blue flowers, like I was suggesting or saying. So I'm going to use the brush that I used for the orange flowers. And that is the number 10. And I'll use the blue. I'm going to test it out. I think it might be a little too dark, but let me just try. But again, I'm just, like, you don't have to go with these colors that I'm using. Experiment, find colors that you would like, or that you're partial to, sorry. And just go with the flow, like make it your own, be creative. And this is how you get those creative juices flowing, by experimenting and trying new things. So I've mixed it with a little bit of red because I think like a purple might be nice. So here goes. Wish me luck. So I'm gonna do something like that. Okay, and so these are more like the berries, or like those little yeah, I don't know what you would call them. Yeah, I guess you would call them like those berry flowers that I feel always add to a painting. For some reason, that whole effect of, what's the word? Like dots, anything in dots or splatters, like the splatter effect almost, I guess you could call it, really opens up the image or the visual, because you have big chunks of like big flowers like roses, and then you have these little guys, and then it really adds to the visual, in my opinion. So I tend to always add some as I go along. So now I'm going to do the same. Actually, before I even go ahead with that, I should do leaves. So as you go towards the edges, some of them don't even need, like you don't even need to add any stems to them. You can just sort of let it be. Of course, if you get super obsessive like I do, you just want to add a stem and you want to add extra detail. And really, paintings like this aren't supposed to have a ton of detail. They're just supposed to be kind of easygoing and just free, really. It's the whole point of it. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm going to do the same thing around here. So see how I've done these here? I'm not entirely happy with how it doesn't really look like, I feel like it looks nicer set up this way. I feel like I could have done a better job setting them up here, but you know, to you it might be like, oh, whatever, it looks great. Yeah, it's just me being quirky. Actually, now that I added this one here, I don't mind it at all. It looks kind of nice. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay, I take it back. Okay, so you see how the yellow came in here because I had some yellow on the tip of the brush already. Again, things like that are really nice to have because, again, it adds something visually interesting and just opens up the whole painting. And adding depth and blah, blah, blah. Alright, so I'm just going to add like a line this way. Make it seem like it's almost like a vine that is going up. Perfect. Good with that. And so now I have 3 there. I could do some here at the bottom as well. And so I think I will. Take some of my blue, mix it with the red. Now this might be a little bit different because it has a little more blue in it than the red. But we're just going to go with it because I don't like wasting colors. See, it's a little bit darker. mix up that red in there nicely and try and get that purple back in. There we go. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so again, I don't mind how this looks because it actually kind of adds a little bit extra something to the colors that we have going on here. So like this pops up a little more than the others. So I don't mind it. We're going to go with it. And I will add it again around here. So it almost looks like a different variation of the purple. And all right, so something like that. Fill up this space here. Then I'm going to go in with the green and connect as much as I can. Not being super obsessive and connecting it all, but even if you do some, it's kind of nice. So it gives a nice flowy. You can see where it's coming from, and you can see where it's going to. Things like that. Okay, and let's see. Do some there. Okay, so something like that. And then now we have all this additional space, so you can choose to add an additional flower if you want, or you can just fill it up with more green things. Leaves. By things I mean leaves. So let's see what I want to do after I finish filling up these. Yeah, so I think I will do leaves just to speed up the process and so you can see what the finished product looks like. And so for that, I'm just going to do loose looking leaves. So we have a little bit of white space at least, but I want to make it a little bit of a different color so it stands out more. Something like that. Like a darker foresty green and lighter maybe. Sorry, softer in intensity. That's what I meant by lighter. So not as opaque. Just adding a little more blues in it so it looks a little bit .3D. And then these ones here would have to be super big-ish. Okay, so we're doing that. And just want to look around and find the spots that have not been filled and maybe just go in and fill it up with these leaves. Okay, so then here's another spot that I feel could benefit from these leaves. And then I think around this area here looks a little bit lighter compared to the darker leaves up there. So I'm just going to go in and add a couple here and there. All right, and so I want to take a closer look and see if everything is good and to my liking after I finish nitpicking. And so I think I like how this looks. So yeah, here you have it, guys. This is how you would create a heart filled with flowers, watercolor flowers. I hope you guys like the tutorial. Please do subscribe. And I love to hear comments, so please do share your comments. Whether you liked it, you didn't like it, you have another technique.